the way that I started keto is not the same way I would teach it, because I stayed in ketosis for like 6 or 8 months, I forget, but it was too long staying in there. And I started to kind of bonk with my workouts and not feel good. But there are several ways to get into ketosis. The way that I teach it now is a gradual approach of decreasing your carbs, increasing your healthy fat and protein, and then, testing, of course, to verify that you're there. So that's the way that I would teach it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something I did want to talk to you about, which was long-term ketosis, because I know some people, for them, keto is the vegan diet. They do get dogmatic with it, and it becomes very much a part of their identity, where now you can't not be in ketosis, and from what I understand, and I, in all transparency, have not done a ton of research on the keto diet. I just kind of know it from really a 30,000-foot view. But from what I understand, long-term ketosis does have some detrimental effects with metabolism. It could decrease your insulin sensitivity. Can have some funkiness with some glucose. So, did you have, other than like when you first started, do you kind of go in and out of long bouts of ketosis, or do you see people with that same problem within the keto community?
It's a big problem. A lot of people, because they do keto and they start to get these benefits, which is terrific, and they fall in love with it, but then they stay there too long. And there's something called hormesis, which is a stress that you apply to the body that gets the body to adapt and gets you a positive outcome. For example, exercise is hormesis. When you start to exercise, it's painful. It's a stress to the body, but the body adapts and gets stronger. Now, what would happen if you did the same workout routine every single week, week after week, month after month? All of a sudden, the benefits go away, and you actually could see even diminishing returns and even hurt yourself. You want to keep changing things up. It's very similar to keto. When you get into ketosis, it's a hormetic response. You're getting benefits. Same thing with fasting. But if you stay there and don't change things up, you'll begin to lose those results. And a few things could happen. I wrote about it in my book. Especially for women, what you could see is a thyroid issue, because when we think about insulin is not the bad guy. I mean, it's a survival mechanism. We wouldn't exist today if we didn't produce insulin. The issue is calling insulin all the time, because insulin is the bully of the block. He'll bully your fat burning hormones, and all of your other hormones will decrease as insulin increases. So keeping insulin in check is important, and you could do that with keto and fasting. But when you have chronically low levels of insulin, that's not good too. Insulin is required to convert inactive thyroid T4 to active T3. Mm-hmm. So if you're in ketosis for too long, that conversion will begin to decrease, and all of a sudden you have hypothyroid issues. And that happens more in women than men, but it can still happen in men. So we don't want that. Insulin is also required for women who have a menstrual cycle to have a healthy menstrual cycle, especially the week before the period. You need to build progesterone. Insulin helps do that, and progesterone keeps estrogen in check. So there's also all these considerations that people who are doing keto long term are not considering, because they fell in love with the initial benefits, and then they stay there too long, and all of a sudden they're beginning to hurt themselves, essentially.